Hey, so I was sitting here and I was just looking at my MySpace, and I don't spend a whole lot of time on my MySpace these days. But I noticed something that kind of like made me wonder, what the fuck? I see a post from Zombie Friends, whom quite normally I'm very vocal about supporting. And it says, and I quote, "Boycott Rob Zombie." It says, "We need picket signs at theaters and conventions. Send letters, email, and video to Weinstein Company. Go on YouTube." Now, go on YouTube seems to me like a subtle hint or a nod. Hey, Ed, we need a vlog about this. Unfortunately, Ty and Cinezombie, I can't really back you guys up on this one this time. I'm going to explain why. Though I fully support Zombie Friends, I can't boycott the Weinstein Company, okay? They've produced some of my favorite movies. Almost everything Kevin Smith has ever done has been done by the Weinsteins. And if you notice right here, which I don't think you can see very well in the video, right here, he's not well lit there, but here, this is a Kevin Smith. See? Kevin Smith. I don't have light on the camera, so you can't really tell. This is a Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith movies. However, I understand what you are so vocally opposed to and what is so upsetting to you guys. Looks like we're Zombie Friends, primarily Ty and Cinezombie, I'm guessing, and probably several others over there, are upset about the Sherry Moon zombie bullshit involved in the new Halloween movie, H2. Which, okay, I completely understand. Rob Zombie doesn't seem to be able to make a movie without putting his wife in it. I don't understand that, but okay. His business, it's his movie. Guys, remember, here's what it boils down to, really. Yui Bowl has been making the shittiest fucking horror imaginable. And then there's that other guy who made Zombie Nation, which is yet another atrocity to film. And just because they make these movies doesn't mean we have to watch these movies, okay? Boycotting them isn't going to help. Convincing people to not go see these movies, that's the harder part. I believe that every artist has the right to put out whatever movie they want, be it great fucking classic indie horror like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, and Halloween, which are all indie films. So is Night of the Living Dead, to shining pieces of shit like House of the Dead. They're artists, they're making their art. It may not be art we agree with or even like, but they're entitled to put their art out there. Many, many, many people boycott and throw fits about Marilyn Manson, but hey, you know what? That just makes people want to go see Marilyn Manson. I personally have no problems with the man or his music. I won't go to another Marilyn Manson concert because of personal experience when I was stationed at Fort Bragg, but hey, that doesn't mean I won't buy the man's CDs. Remember in the 80s, Ebert and Siskel were continuously on these missions to try and get Paramount to stop producing or distributing the Friday the 13th movies. What did it do? Tony Timpone showed us emphatically that all it does is cause people to go see these movies. So whether you're intentionally trying to, you're giving Rob Zombie and H2, the movie that you don't want people to see, press. Because like Vince McMahon of the WWE said, any press is good press. Beating a Bible and standing on a soapbox and carrying picket signs did nothing to stop Kevin Smith from distributing the movie Dogma. The Catholic League went after it wholeheartedly and did everything they could to stop Miramax and Disney, who was the distributor at the time, from letting Dogma be made. Guess what? Didn't help. Didn't happen. All it did was strengthen Dogma. Maybe not in the theaters, but definitely in video and DVD sales. And when I say video, a lot of people who might be younger don't remember VHS, but it really helped Kevin Smith sell his movie. So many people were against it, and so many were vocal against it, that it got even more exposure. So the easiest way to prevent people from going to see a movie like H2, which you're so emphatically against, is to just ignore it. And if somebody asks you, hey, what do you hear about H2? Don't say anything. Say, I haven't heard anything about it. You know, just ignore it. The easiest way to just get this movie, which I watched the trailer yesterday, and it kind of confounded me that Rob Zombie is kind of making Michael a Jason kind of clone there. Why? Because Jason's got mommy issues. We know that. But now we're giving Michael mommy issues. Whether Rob Zombie knows it or not, he's basically playing to the exact same crowd and making Michael no different than Jason. So I don't see as where boycotting, picket signs, and letters to Weinstein or Rob Zombie are going to make any difference. Rob's going to look at it and say, you know what, I'm making X million dollars in money. I'm making X million dollars to make this movie. Weinstein is saying, we're going to make X million dollars distributing this film. You're not going to stop millions of dollars with a few voices. You might get the name of an independent film changed, like my wife did, or maintain the name as it were, but you're not going to get a name changed or get a film not to be distributed or not to be made simply with picket signs and demonstrations. What you are going to do is get more people to pay attention to the movie that you don't want them to watch by simply being vocal about it. Perfect case in point, Rage Against the Machine at I believe it was one of the Lollapaloozas. They weren't allowed to play, so they put on an impromptu concert for free in the parking lot. They ended up getting arrested, but they drew more attention that way because of all the people who didn't want them to play. You just can't play into it. You're playing politics with people who have millions and millions of dollars. We're the little people. We're never going to win. Easiest way to just get rid of an anachronist piece of shit, if that's in fact what it is to just ignore it. You don't, just because it's out there and you don't agree with it doesn't mean you have to patronize it, you don't have to watch it, you don't have to view it, you don't have to do anything to help it. But you're not going to hurt it. That's the important thing to keep in mind. So Will, Ty, I'm sorry, I can't really back you guys up on this one. I'm fully there in support of saying, hey, I don't think it's a great idea, but I'm not going to tell anybody not to go watch this movie simply because I know it's not going to work. Me saying, hey, don't go watch this movie is going to cause someone, even if it's only one person, to go spend their $5.75 or $8.25 or $8.45, whatever it costs to go to a theater these days, to spend that money and then buy popcorn and go sit down and watch Rob Zombie's movie. So, picket signs, soapboxes, protests, Kevin Smith has proved, Yui Boll has proved, that guy who made the piece of shit Zombie Nation has proved that you're not going to change it. It's still going to come out. You don't have to like it. Just don't patronize it. I guess I'm going to get off my soapbox for now. Guys, I respect you. You know, I really dig what you do over at Zombie Friends, but I just don't see you guys winning this one. Sorry. Talk to you later.